Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Mardek, and of course last time we went through all the side areas of the Earth Temple and saw that the special little twist on the Earth Temples that we had to do all those memory tests, and fortunately did succeed in all of them. If you do not, I believe you actually end up going into a fight of sorts, and so we skipped that because we were successful each time, but if you do find that you can't remember the way to do all those steps, then you might find yourself in an extra fight or two, or you can always press the middle circle of the memory test and it'll show the order for you once more. We're close to picking up the miasmal chalice here, but we're not yet ready, and we are, theoretically, capable of going through this door over here now to go into what we would expect to be the Earth Guardian fight. Now, of course, those can be pretty difficult based on what we saw in the past with the Water and Fire Guardians in the past, so that might be reason to say, make a point of loading up on perhaps a little bit different gear, because remember, right now we are totally loaded on Earth Resistance, which is great for when we're going against enemies that have a lot of Earth damage, yes. However, remember that all of the Guardians have that inversion skill that makes it so that it deals damage based on the amount of their resistance you have. So for the Fire Guardian, if you have a lot of fire resistance, then it'll deal more damage to you. Water Guardian, more water resistance, deals more damage to you. Same thing with the Earth Guardian. So say if we were to walk in right now with Zack and Vern on over 100% Earth Resistance, then they would get absolutely clobbered, basically automatically take them out. Probably similar story for Charlotte, she'd at least go very low. Mardek wouldn't be in great shape either. So for that reason, we're going to want to reduce our Earth Resistances a little bit here, because we are totally overloaded. Things like the Geo Jacket, not going to work out here. Also, Emerald Bangles, probably want to get rid of those. And the Earth Pendants are interesting, because they do give 50% Earth Resistance, and we do probably still want some Earth Resistance, we just don't want to go totally overboard, otherwise that skill will hard counter us. But the Earth Pendants also give the Magic Earth Resistance, and so that's probably a good way to double up on Earth Resistance, because that way we're completely immune to Earth spells, and that does not factor in on how much damage that Inversion Earth skill does, the magic reaction here. So that's a way to sneak in a little bit more. So I think we stick with the Earth Pendants here on basically everyone, including Zack. We're going to want to throw on one in place of, say, the Body Crystal, because I believe you had mastered that. That was Charlotte we saw who had not mastered it there. The Kendriothope is helpful for that additional experience, yes, but in the short term, maybe that's not as relevant. Of course, we'd expect for this Guardian fight to give us a fair bit of experience, yes, but perhaps something that is a little bit more of a direct power boost. And so, what is the best way to do that? We could, say, throw on a bunch of strength for Zack, because, of course, we were using the Geo Jacket, yes, but what if, say, we were to go with the Scarlet Stole here, and a Ruby, so that's plus 3 strength here, plus 6 strength here, and if we were to go and see, I think that Zack has already mastered at least plus 2 strength. Yes, he was working on Resist Earth, and he's somewhat close to mastering it, but of course, not going to use it here. So if we just do this, suddenly we're getting 5 strength from passive skills, and Zack is at 30. So the hope there being that Zack's default attack, which as long as we hit our reaction will be Air Elemental, could be quite effective. So that's very tempting. Maybe we go that route. It's a little bit of a glass cannon approach, but perhaps could still pay off for us. Then, other than that, we did pick up the Elf Cap, which gives us 20% Earth Resistance, which is interesting in that it gives us a tiny bit more Earth Resistance. Like we were saying, we definitely don't want to be at or near 100%, but if we felt like we wanted to just add a tiny bit more, then the Elf Cap could be a good way to do that. With the Earth Pendant, though, I think that's probably still too risky, because that would bring us from 50 up to 70%. That's probably still too much. So I think we do take it off here. And then what do we put on in its place? In terms of helmets for Vern, I'm assuming we still have more of the skull helms. Maybe not in our inventory right now, but surely at least at the save crystal right next to us. So let's take a look there. Just a matter of who is stockpiling them, or if they're buried in someone's inventory and we just didn't realize it. And tell you what, before we do that, I think it is definitely worthwhile for us to add Legion to the party here, because as we were saying before, Legion, of course, learns skills through mimicry when other enemies hit Legion with those skills. And generally speaking, major boss fights, you want to make sure Legion's there because those are the hardest ones to get those skills because generally those bosses will be the only people who use them. And I believe, based on how we saw that Legion did learn some powerful skills from previous Guardians, we might want to throw Legion in this time around as well. So, for that reason, we might want to swap someone out in order to get Legion in. Question there would be, of course, who? So if we take a look here, we have Sharla, who's been quite effective with her air spells, of course, so we might not want to remove her. Zack, we did just load up on the strength, at least theoretically, if we were to walk in with that, that should be pretty hard-hitting. However, Vern, we were also seeing start to build up a ton of offensive power with all the reactions and spirit we were loading up on him. So, I think all these people here are pretty strong for these set of circumstances, at least based on what the performance was like during our trip through the Earth Temple. I think that Zack is probably the odd man out here. He is, of course, I still believe, the lowest level person in this party right now. Yeah. So we'll take him out here. That is a bit unfortunate because this is going to be an opportunity to get a fair bit of experience from this fight. So Legion also, I'm pretty sure, has the most experience of everyone outside of Mardek, but so be it. I think on this occasion, it is definitely worthwhile for us to pursue having Legion in the party. The Skull Helm, yes, we're probably going to want to pick up another one of those for Vern still, but let's just take a look at what Legion has here. I think Legion was actually working on double AP here. Let's just double check. Yeah, it was actually over halfway toward mastering that, but probably don't want to be boosting the agility this much. I mean, plus 10 agility is great, don't get me wrong, it's just that probably would rather say throw on some of those earth resistances on Legion as well, because at the moment, we don't have anything that's doing that. So we also might need to nab that earth pendant from Zack after he just ran off with it. So let's go back to item storage now. And Zack, sorry man, gotta take that from you. And if we have another one of these skull helms, that would probably be best, so that we could throw one on Vern as well, but could even consider throwing on something like a Feather Crest for +1 Spirit and a fair bit of magic defense. On Vern, we were talking about how loading up on Spirit is very useful, so that could be a decent idea. Let's try that, maybe. And has Vern mastered this offensive reaction? He is not. He's had a little bit of time with it. Of course, this would be most relevant for Green Lightning, which is an Earth Elemental spell, which is definitely not something he's going to be using here. So this reaction, at least short-term, isn't really going to be relevant. It's more so just getting a little bit of extra spirit and decent magic defense. So then Vern does still need a second spot here, as does Legion, in the accessory spots. So what would we like here? Well, tell you what, Legion, we'd probably want to put a gem here of some variety to allow you to use a gem explosion. And that would mean that, at least in Legion's case, we would want it to likely be Air Elemental, because we would expect that to be the most effective against an Earth Guardian. Air being the most effective element against Earth more often than not, almost all the time. So, the thing is, we don't have any particularly powerful air gems. I think the Topaz is our only Air Elemental gem right now, and it's pretty common. Remember that Gem Explosion, the element is based on the element of the gem, yes. However, the power of it is also based on how rare and valuable the gem is, and Topaz is not valuable. So for that reason, although this does give us an Air Elemental Gem Explosion, which is nice, in terms of base power, not gonna be great. So, I mean, we can do it, yes. Just don't think we're necessarily gonna be all that impressed. Although I do think Legion does already have some Air Elemental spells, so for that reason, we might still be okay. Other than that, Vern, your second spot here. What are we thinking? We have the Earth resistance we're looking for through the Earth Pendant. Should we try to further boost Spirit, perhaps? We were talking about how that's quite good, and maybe that means throwing on something like a Sapphire Bangle. I know we had one of those lying around on several people, really. Question is, of course, who? And the answer appears to be precisely, know what? No, there must be someone here. I've just been, there it is. Missing it. Here it is. So we throw this on here. This gives, I believe, +3 spirit. So we have +3, +6, +1. And +3 over here as well, so that should give Vern pretty high amount of spirit if we go to the party page. We want everyone to be at about 50%, so we'll still need to remove some earth resistance from Charla. But then 30 spirit for Vern, yes, should find that his even default attacks should be pretty powerful in this case. And then, other than that, let's, like we were saying, look at the earth resistance for Charla. Where is it all coming from? She has the earth pendant, yes. She's not mastered that. So we are going to want to keep on the pendant itself, but she may have, yes, the resist earth passive skill mastered. That's where that second part is coming from. So let's actually remove this. And then instead, we could throw on double gold for this boss fight here. I mean, that's maybe not the most relevant. He actually doesn't have too many options here. So even if we remove the agility, I'm not sure that's going to be terribly relevant either. Could just throw on a bunch of status immunities. And even then, we're still going to agility. I'm pretty sure Charla is going to be fast enough here, because she's been, in almost every fight, the quickest person. So I'm not sure this is going to make any difference at all having the agility, but we have RP to burn, so why not? Let's just make sure that everyone has magic earth resistance equipped, otherwise that is a bit of defenses we're leaving on the table here. Ooh, I tell you what, I think the new spear is where we're getting this one from, but we definitely should have equipped that. And Quarry Spirit, not sure that's terribly relevant here, but if we wanted 10% Ether resistance, you know, it might make sense to also throw the Sapphire Bangle on you, Charla. Mostly just for a little bit of extra spirit and MP. The water resistance, not super relevant, but also 3 defense, 3 magic defense does help a bit too. So I think that'll at least make you a little bit stronger. And yeah, I don't think that other ability that we were looking at a minute ago is going to do much for us, so should be fine here. Oh, and actually, we can throw on 10% resistance here as well. Almost missed that. Let's keep on spell resistance. This is looking good from Charla. Mardek, on your side, you definitely had, yeah, double gold, which, as you're saying, is probably not the best thing to do here. We could continue to load up on Vitality, and, well, we were talking about what it would mean to have on all the Vitalities and all the HPs. Oh, he can almost do it, but not quite. We could throw on 20% instead. Out of curiosity, where does that leave him? Almost 3,000 HP. So it'd be hard to take him out, but there's probably more meaningful things we could put on instead. Things like, I don't know, we have seen that in the past, earth damage does tend to come with poison, so it might be reasonable to expect that here, so we could maybe throw on antibody. Other than that, I mean, we perhaps could keep on +3 vitality, but other than that, Rainbow Aura could, of course, give us a little bit of resistances across the board, but we still probably don't want that. I think 50% is where we want to draw the line there. So, Loot Finder from the boss, also maybe not best, so you know what? Maybe we do throw on a little bit of extra HP this way, and keep on +3 Vitality. That actually might be a higher HP combination. I think it might be just by a tiny bit there. Still almost 3,000 HP. It's post-leveling as well. So, what else? Let's just double-check the other items here. Mardek, you are still using the Emerald for +2 Vitality, which is... Oh, that's Charlotte that we're seeing. Doesn't have that mastered. You have mastered this, Mardek. So, we could throw on something in this place, which, again, may be somewhat helpful. But we could be alright here. Another thing is, if we really wanted to, we could make a point of throwing on the Air Pelton Scimitar on Mardek instead of the Flame Tongue. Mardek has not yet mastered the Fire Slash ability. However, although this does have a lower base damage, 36 versus 39, it does mean that Mardek's default attack is Air Elemental. So, if we found that we were needing to use a default attack for some reason, if Mardek gets cursed or runs out of MP and can't use Air Slash anymore, then that would be a way of consistently making sure that we're still dealing air damage rather than fire, because that's definitely not going to be the best. So when we have MP, this is going to be the way to go. When we don't, this would be. but I think this could be alright here. So let's save up and give this one a shot. And who knows? Like I said, we found that in the past, the Temple Guardians, they were tricky. And, well, maybe we want to do just a couple more fights here to fill the chalice first. We'll give Legion a chance to reacquaint themselves with this temple here. Oh no. Well, this is quite a warm-up. Charla's the only one who's not asleep, and tell you what, that is crucial because Charla, I believe, one-shot the fairy here. Bullet dodged. Okay. Pixie Dust as well. Mardek Masters +3 Vitality. So we could keep that on. We could opt to, well, instead, swap on something else for the Stole here. It is giving +6 Vitality and a fair bit of defense and magic defense, so it's not bad. Certainly not. It's just a matter of, well, would we rather put something on that gives some kind of status immunity or other resistances above and beyond just Earth? Of course, can't throw on the Geo Jacket, otherwise Mardek will be well over 100% resistance, and that's not really going to help us out against the Guardian, because he will just use Earth Inversion and annihilate him. But let's do, I think it should just be one, maybe two more fights, and then we'll finish off the Miasmal Chalice. Okay, some Earth Elementals here, and if we Thunderbolt all of them, it might be enough. We did, theoretically, give Charla a little more firepower, giving her some additional spirit, and that was perhaps a difference maker there, because in the past, sometimes she was able to take those guys out in one hit, sometimes not. And also, I think we saw that Mardek just leveled up there, so, he's still not quite at 3,000 HP. Legion's close as well, though. And here it is. The Earth Miasmal Chalice does now appear to be full. It's full to the brim with the dark miasma of slain monsters. It is now yours. So, just check up on it real quick. It is the Miasmal Chalice, Earth, of course, a rather morbid ancient artifact full to the brim with the essence of monsters. It exudes a sense of wisdom. So, we now have the dark, fire, water, and earth miasmal chalices from all the temples that we've been in thus far. Technically speaking, these are optional, but I would strongly recommend that you guys pick them up if you're playing along with us. Of course, it's been a while since we were in the Dark Temple and the Water Temple, and to a lesser extent, the Fire Temple as well, but hopefully you picked those up as well. So, with that, let's do one last heal before we duck in there, now that we've picked up the chalice. And let's see what awaits us on the other side. Is that Murius? Etc. I'm critically hurt. I tried to fight this here Guardian, thinking that my air element would ensure my swift success, but that was not the way for things to be, it seems. I mean, that's kind of what we were thinking of doing as well, so I hope that's still a reasonable course of action here. Oh, whoa! Now I will die here and never get the crystals, and you won't have to fight and stop me! Instead, you'll have to defeat the Guardian yourselves in a way that would be wholly distracting if you want to be the only ones to get the crystal. Now leave me to my lonely death. Oh, knight! So, you mean to suggest that you might just be waiting for us to distract the Guardian so that you can sneak up and wipe the crystal? He's a good guy though, right? He's a changed man. I'm sure he'll be fine. Also... Oh! Is that the Guardian? It's huge. Oh! We're trapped in here. Okay. Never mind. How's it going? Hello! I am a rock mole, and I am the guardian of the Earth Crystal because I am a rock mole! That is who I am! Moo! What? Excuse me? Moo? Well, I think I recognize you from somewhere. Do we? Did Murius try to battle you? Did that actually happen, or is Murius just chilling over there in the corner pretending that he fought you and it's all an elaborate ruse? Moo. What gives? Moo is the sound that moles make. Is it though? But ordinarily, they are very quiet about it, and you can't hear it. Not that you take the time to listen to moles anyway. Why are you such a critic? Gods, stop being so critical about everything I do or say. Also, you can't have the crystal. Well, okay, I guess maybe we do recognize you from somewhere? No, you don't! I have a beard made of grass. I'm a rock mole. Moo, woo, woo. Moo. Pretty sure it's like Final Fantasy or something like this. There's a similar enemy. I don't know, something like that. I don't know, I've never played Final Fantasy. Well, yeah, so did Murius actually try to fight you? No! That human man in the funny clothing? All that clothing is funny to a rock mole. Ha 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 ha! Just pretended to lie on the ground as if I couldn't see him, even though that was in front of my face. He is a dirty, stinking, filthy, rotten liar. I moo at him with much rancid vigor. Darn you abominable little Telfid. I'll get you one of these days for this. Ah, okay. Boiled. I very much doubt that, because you are too weak. I doubt you'll ever do anyone any significant harm. And anyway, speaking of weakness, I will likely die now, as I foolishly engage in combat with this ragtag bunch of adventurers and such. Well, I would say you'll be fine, but then again, I mean, you are presumably about to be our enemy, so no, you're going down. Come at me, you protagonists, and chisel a statue commemorating your fierce victory from my yielding stony flesh. Then, steal the precious, precious earth crystal. Moo! Okay, moo it is. You are absolutely ginormous. Wow. Okay, it is the Earth Guardian. He is level 40. And has 44,000 life. I mean, vitality is typically the stat that is associated with Earth, so I suppose we should perhaps have expected him to have a lot of life, but here goes nothing. So, Charla is first, as anticipated. Actually, tell you what, I was expecting the Guardian to be slow. He does go next. His 12 agility, though, and 12 agility is apparently enough to go faster than everyone else in the party. That's not fast. That's just that everyone else is extremely slow. Legion is 10, Mardek is 9, and Vern is 11. So Charla, by comparison, is 21. So Charla, you could lead us off here with the Thunderbolt. Notably, we did not take Gloria with us, and she would have had the Null Earth skill, which may be relevant. So if we find that we are not successful here, then that might be our best course of action to switch things up a bit, but we went for what is, I think, ultimately going to be a pretty offensive party here. So that's what... Oh, I missed the reaction! Uh-oh. That's not a good way to start. I was gonna say, that's what, 1/40th of its total HP? Just a few more of those and we'll be ready. So, we probably do want to bring Charla back, preferably soon. So let's do that here. Does, of course, mean that we'll miss out on a turn of offense with Vern, but so be it. We also perhaps could have spent a little bit of time making sure that we have things like Phoenix Downs and potions and ethers on people, which we did not do before this, so that's another thing we could switch around if we find that we are not successful here. This is the Era Elemental spell that I was referring to, that we do already have with Legion. We learned it from Bernard, from the World Saviors, and it is quite strong, so this could be a way for us to go. Let's just double check what other resistances, if any, the Guardian has, and the answer is a lot. 100% fire resistance and water resistance. Of course, heals to earth, we probably expected that. 50% light resistance, so we were saying how Vern does have a lot of firepower with his new skills, particularly the offensive reaction that he's mastered, but that is still mitigating 50% of the damage. A little bit of weakness to dark. 20 defense, notably, but 0 magic defense, so spells are actually preferable by pretty considerable margin at that. And also, 50% resistance to non-elemental damage, so I don't think we have too many people who are doing that with their default attacks here, but in theory, if we had to go that route, it wouldn't be too effective. So let's try the Thunderstorm. It is pretty MP heavy. 2,500 damage, though. That's slightly better. And Mardek, for Charla, we used a normal Phoenix Down on her, so she's only at half HP right now. Do we want to heal her back up? Do we think that the Earth Guardian is going to take her out in one hit, regardless of what skill he uses to hit her? Possibly. Does that mean we use a shield, a magic shield? Does that mean we just go all out offense with you as well and use an air slash? I feel like it's probably worthwhile for us to slow down a little bit. Make sure we put on some shields. I think we probably do hold off on Charlotte because at this point, I'm not sure that anything we do is going to prevent her from getting one shot. With the Thunderbolt, well, almost 3,000 damage this time, and I missed the reaction there as well. That one was at least close. I think the one with Charlotte was not even close. Legion is still up, notably, has a little bit more defenses, I think, and a little bit more HP. So, now, Vern, you could use Divine Glory and see how that works out. You do have Lay on Hands, which can heal people, so that's also an option. I'm curious how much damage this does, though, because, like we were saying, with the light resistance, this might not be terribly effective. Well, still over 2,000 damage. It's not bad. Legion, you are low as well. I'm thinking what we do here is we're probably going to do a party-wide heal with Mardek next, so let's not concern ourselves too much about your current HP. Let's go back to Thunderstorming. The damage is still fairly solid. That's almost a quarter of the Guardian's HP gone here. So let's heal. And it doesn't get people up to maximum HP, which is a little bit concerning. Of course, Charlotte, you could heal as well if we felt the need to. I'm hoping that if we were to hit our reaction with Legion, that Legion would not go down in one hit here. But we'll have to see what the Guardian does this time. Haste! What? Mole is quick! Now it goes twice as often here, so it's going to go before and immediately after Charlotte. So, does that change anything? Do we want to make a point of healing up here? Lay on Hands? We would likely do it on Legion? Perhaps? We found that everyone deals roughly the same amount of damage here. Everyone is slightly over 2,000 damage, so I'm not sure in terms of prioritizing one person over the other, except if we were to heal here with Lay on Hands, that means that Mardek could perhaps throw on a physical shield. That's a lot of healing there. And I think that would be a more sustainable way of mitigating the damage rather than healing every turn. We want to get out ahead of the damage if we can. It's like here, Mardek, if you could throw on a shield on Legion, then hopefully that means we won't need to heal as often. Spend more turns going offensive. Yeah, there you have it. Only 400 damage that time. Of course, hit reaction, that helps as well. Thunderbolts. Keep up the damage, Charla. Oh, and there is the Inversion Earth, as expected. Admittedly, caught me sleeping a little bit there, but you see, that's a lot of damage because it's based on how much Earth resistance we have, and we do have a fair bit. We made a point of not maxing out the Earth resistance, because otherwise we would have just automatically lost there. So, with that in mind, we are on quite low HP. I'm thinking that we'll definitely use a party heal with Mardek, but Legion is not going to get up to max HP from that. Mardek won't either, but I think Mardek has enough HP that shouldn't be too much of a concern. Legion, your MP, how are you looking? Ugh, you're going to run out after this one. So we'll give it a shot here. A little bit less damage this time. But Mardek, you definitely need to heal this time around. Might need to throw on some kind of MP restoring item for Legion soon. And we did put on the shield for Burn. That's why. Otherwise that might have taken him out. Would have been close. Charla, I think we probably do want to keep you going offensively here, because I think you are doing slightly more damage than everyone else. Oh, I missed that reaction. Except Vern hangs on by 5 HP. Oh dear, Vern. Oh dear. Let's lay on hands on you. I was gonna say Vern might be the person to use that skill to restore some, or that item to restore some MP for Legion here. Because right now, it's certainly not going to happen. Legion, do you have anything you can use on yourself? You do. You do have a nether. So let's do that. Let's back up to full. And then Mardek, those shields, they were helpful. Wait, hold on. Where did the shields go? Hold on. Did the Earth Guardian remove the shields with those physical attacks? Did I not even realize that? Is that a thing? How dare you? Okay, in theory, Vern has lower HP, so let's prioritize Vern here. Yes, absolutely remove the shield. Mole Claw dealt slightly less damage that time because I think it was it Earth Elemental? And we did, of course, throw on 50% Earth Resistance. Otherwise, that might have been enough to take out Legion if it was not Earth Elemental. Would have been close. But he's getting low. He's going to go next as well, remember, before and after Charlotte. Vern, this time, still has the shield on. So we didn't remove it with that attack. Interesting. Okay. So, Legion, Burn, and to a lesser extent, Mardek could use a little bit of healing here. Might this still be an opportunity for Burn to go offensively? Divine Glory? Perhaps? Burn heals a lot, yes, but he can only target one person with Lay on Hands, I believe. Yeah, he can't do party-wide. So if we had one person who really needed it, that's what Burn is good for. But we have a lot of people who kinda need it, so I think that's more of a Mardek type of thing. Let's use Divine Glory here. Let's see how much damage this does. Heal, a little bit over 2,000. Legion, you can go back to Thunderstorming. Yeah, it does seem like Legion is actually the lowest damage option here. And Mardek, you are definitely going to want to heal here. Legion still not max HP. Claw still doesn't remove the shield, and so also Earth Elemental, meaning that not a ton of damage that Burn took there. So that's good to see. Means that we can keep pouring on the offense here. And I almost forgot that the Earth Guardian was going to go twice there, or at least once just before and once just after Charlotte. Attacks Burn twice, and he is still able to survive that. Might mean that it's time to lay on hands on Burn himself. I think so. Look at how much MP Burn has, because he's loaded up on so much Spirit. So then, I think we just keep on Thunderstorming with you, Legion. And the Earth Guardian actually has not yet used the skill that we were making sure to put Legion in the party for. Mardek could throw a shield back on Legion, because of course that shield went down at one point or another. Mega Barrier for the Earth Guardian, so we saw the other Guardians do skills like this, or at least the Fire Guardian did. Could have, perhaps with Mardek, use a Morality Block on the Earth Guardian, would have prevented the Earth Guardian from using that on himself, it would have nulled it. So we did that, I believe, with the Fire Guardian. We'll see just how much of a difference it makes. The Earth Guardian does have these shields, of course, should have roughly half our damage. But he is low here. We'll go next. Poison Fog. So we were anticipating, perhaps, having a bit of poison here. But I think that we may have... I mean, we made a point of putting on the Earth Magic defensive reaction on at least one person there, but we saw that other people did take damage from that, so we might have also forgotten to put that on other people, so that would have been another thing that would have made sense to double-check, at the very least. But all in all, things are looking okay here. Anyone that we really need to heal? I don't think so. Vern, you are, of course, poisoned, but I'm not terribly concerned about that at this stage, because it's only going to deal a little bit of damage on your turn, and I think we're poured on the DPS here, and it shouldn't be too much longer. And so we have this Earth Guardian down. So, we, again, Thunderstorm. Legion levels up from that as well. Mardek, do we need a heal? Arguably with Legion. Maybe. Legion does have a shield on, though, so maybe that's alright. We could remove Taint on Burn. That feels like that's maybe a little bit overkill. Like I was saying, I think maybe better to just use the offense here. And the Guardian, like I said, still has not used the ability that we've been waiting for it to use. So we could Thunderbolt, yes, but in some ways we almost want to make sure that it uses that skill so that Legion can master it. Ooh, very fortunate that the Earth Guardian missed on that one, because of course Charlotte has the lowest HP and does not have a shield on. Was deliberately not doing any of those things because we were acting on the assumption that no matter what we did, Charlotte was still going to get one shot, but maybe we do want to make a point of throwing on a physical shield now that everyone else has one, except for Mardek. Mardek should be pretty good with almost 3,000 life. So we could Divine Glory. Yes, I don't think anyone needs a heal, so we're good there. Earth Guardian is getting low. This will be the last time Legion can use Thunderstorm. It's now out of MP once more, or at least not enough MP to use that. So I think what we do here is we put on the shield for Charlotte. Guardian, I believe, will go next. We want him to use not this ability. Charlotte, you would come close to taking it out here. If you were to use your Thunderbolt, remember that we're doing half damage because he has a magic shield on right now, so I don't think it would happen. But, like I said, I think we actually do want to wait this out a little bit longer, so we could make a point of healing everyone. Charlotte, it's been a long time since we last used this ability. Still, Poison Fog is not the one I'm thinking of, though. And so Burn here. And also, we're thinking about perhaps not using too many offensive skills anymore. We are waiting out for one specific skill that I'm very surprised that the Earth Guardian has not yet used. So, is there anything else that we could put to use here? We could say, take this as an opportunity to remove your poison burn. We're saying it wasn't a super high priority, but if we're looking to kill some time, then perhaps that's the way to do it. Could also throw on some MP restoration on you, Legion, but I don't think that's super relevant here if we're not going to be using too many spells from here on out. We could try to curse the Earth Guardian, well, to prevent it from using any skills, yes, but we're deliberately trying to get it to use some skills, so it does have 50% resistance to curses, so wouldn't be guaranteed, but that would defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do right now. I think we hold off here with Legion altogether, perhaps. Mardek, you are the only one who doesn't have a shield, so we can throw that on you. Just load up on the defenses. Whoa! Okay, Shatterclaw. That's what it is that removes the shields. That makes sense. So, let's make a point of healing Legion specifically, because I think I also missed that reaction. Stone Explosion, we've seen that one before. And it does look like we did have our Magic Earth Resistance equipped on Charlotte at least, because that was 0 damage there when we hit the reaction. That's what should be happening with everyone. Just remember that the Earth Inversion is not a Earth Elemental skill, it's a Thama Elemental skill, and that's why that doesn't work for that one. So, if we really wanted to, we could actually use Green Lightning and heal the Earth Guardian. Why would we do that? Well, Vern does have a reaction that he's trying to learn, so I mean, if we really wanted to, we could do this. Well, I thought he did, except he apparently doesn't. And it actually healed a lot more than I expected it to. So, maybe not the best idea after all. We could see what the physical attacks look like. We saw that, yes, between the shield and 50% resistance to non-elemental attacks, it is not very much damage at all. So, Mardek, now that we put on physical shields for everyone, we could, say, throw on some regen as well if we really wanted to. We throw it on you. We technically are not at full HP right now. We heal a lot, though. Okay, and this is still not the spell I'm waiting for the Earth Guardian to use. Odd, although it is, of course, reapplying the poison on Burn. So we could probably still do a Thunderbolt here. Because we healed him a bit. Empty Claw this time. Does hit Charlotte and does hurt. So we could heal her. Legion still on relatively low MP. So I think we either use an item here, which is not super relevant on this occasion, or we just pass. So I think we pass. Mardek, there you see with the regen, you are healing almost 300 every turn, which is partially why I wanted to do that, just to see how ridiculous that would be. Throw it on Legion as well. Also not on full HP. Here it is, finally. That's the skill I was waiting for. And so Legion learns it. That is a skill that the Earth Guardian is one of the only people who uses. So for that reason, wanted to make a point of picking it up here for Legion. That's why we brought Legion along. So now, carry on with the DPS. Oh, missed the reaction. Fortunately, Burn, even with the poison, has enough HP to hang on here. And you could say, maybe even finish this off with Divine Glory. Go for it, Burn. For the glory! He levels up. And I believe one other person might have been Charlotte leveled up as well. So we get an Emerald. Get some Earth Essence, which I suppose is fitting. And Earth Guardian down. See! I knew I'd lose. That's what's supposed to happen. Now go and get the crystal, and do with it as you please. I don't care anymore, because I'm dead! Moo! And down he goes. Notably, Murius, who was sitting in the corner right over here before, is no longer here. So, what gives? Burn is notably still poisoned, so we can make a point of, say, healing him up here. We're both healing and removing Taint, quite frankly, as well. It's not looking great right now. So let's just do that real quick. Everyone is fairly low on MP. But if we were to, say, go through here... Oh, no. Furious? It is a thing of beauty, this crystal. I've longed and yearned for so many years to get my hands on one of these. Not knowing for sure whether or not they were even real, and now here I am. It is mesmerizing. I almost feel deja vu? Most strange. I could stand here all day just ogling it. Well, you can't, because we're here to stop you. Yes. There it is. It? You referring to us or the crystal? Hello there, my dear friends. How nice it is that you could join me. Thanks a million for handling that guardian for me. I love how it weakened you in preparation for our battle. Oh no, not again! Since we are going to battle, I knew it as soon as I saw you. Darn predictable plot. Anyway, can we just skip any long rambling dialogue and just get down to brass tacks, as they say? I'm sure you're eager to rob me of the thing I've dreamed about since before my birth. Wait, what? How does that work? And I'm eager to be rid of you in one way or another. Let's go. Okay, so we restored some MP, yes, but definitely still not, or restored some HP, did not restore MP. So this is maybe not the best circumstance in which to be fighting Murius right now. So, he has, well, air resistance and a couple of fairies? What? Okay. And other than that, resistance to a lot of statuses. And so, looking at the order here, Charlotte goes first, then all the bandits go. So, what comes next? Well, see, the thing is, Murius is really resistant to air. So are the bandits. So, Charla, we could null air on a bunch of people, but at least offensively, I don't think we're going to find that it's going to be terribly helpful having you here. Very good. For the Guardian, as we saw, yes, but can you make a difference? Oh, yes, with the nulls, perhaps. Everyone getting nulled here thus far. And taking turns attacking different people, so that does help too. Well, that's physical. So, okay. Vern just got shot. Now, if we could say, I don't know, we want to try to target Murius first or take out his bandits. Presumably the bandits will be easier to take down because they have less HP. And defenses, they have 7 and 4. Murius has 10 and 7. So, bandit leather plus 5. Interesting. Okay, so, do we target Murius? Do we target the bandits? It's an interesting question. Murius, I think, will also deal a fair bit more damage. And I think that we saw, of course, Murius with the gunshot was non-elemental, whereas the bandits were dealing air damage, so that's easier to null them. So maybe we do target Murius. He might have a reaction, though, so let's see how this plays out. A lot of damage, yes. Reaction? Also yes. So, we do have still quite low MP on Legion, so that is going to be a pretty big problem for us here, I think, because, well, we can't do much, especially when you're 90% resistant to curses, Murius. That means that curse is not going to be terribly effective here. We do have a Fire Breath ability, so that could be the best course of action here, perhaps. Let's give this a shot. We have a reaction to this one. Also, hard to break through that magic barrier. Yes, you do have a reaction to that too. Mardek, you also have low MP. Do we heal? Vern certainly could use it. In fact, Vern arguably needs a targeted heal, or a little bit more specifically on him. Everyone also needs MP. So I think what we do here is, let's heal Vern. Charla, I think you'll go back to nulling... hold on. Okay, 1 sleep, a miss, and otherwise nothing. So I think Charla, you will want to null air on everyone here. Mardek, we would love for you to wake up. That would be really helpful right about now. But this will hopefully make it such that these attacks will deal basically nothing. Yup, getting the nulls on. So as long as we do that, little bandits are not terribly concerning. However, oh, that null's important. Because that would have been a lot of damage. In fact, was a lot of damage on several people there. So, tell you what. I think that Murius has regen as one of his statuses here. So he's getting a fair bit of life back at the beginning of each of his turns. I think we do want to take out little bandits first, because otherwise that damage is going to keep on stacking up here. But first and foremost, we are going to need to do some healing and or MP restoration, because Legion and Charla are no longer in very good standing with their HP, if you take a look there. So I think Charla is perhaps more important. So let's do this. Get 500 HP back on her. Technically speaking, could have gone a little bit more aggressive on that. I thought we did pick up an item a little while ago that gave us the ability to restore both HP and MP in one fell swoop with an item. That's a kind of thing that could be very useful right about now. Elixir does fully restore both. Mardek will go next, except he's asleep, so notably will not do anything. Legion, I think you probably just say, I mean, either you wake up Mardek now with something like a remedy, or you use an aggressive healing item on yourself. I think both of those would be very useful right about now. So, tell you what, I think we probably do need Mardek. Mardek goes next. Let's bring him back with a remedy. Okay, so Mardek, you're next. You don't have MP, so basically it's just a way to get you up, and now you do the healing. For Legion, it's just that we have an additional person who is awake this time around, and you probably have access to more items here. So, chocolate milk might have been one of those. This, is HP plus gets rid of status effects. So it's not that one. In fact, we might not have it on Mardek, that special item. So, the Legion will use an elixir on you. It's really strong, it's really valuable, but this might be one of those circumstances where it is necessary. I'd argue probably the case. Here's a Thunderbolt on Legion. Charla's next. So Charla, I think you are still on null duty. Let's do this. But let's make a point of taking out Little Bandits first. Of course, it would have been best if we had focused on that from the get-go. Because the thing is, yes, their damage is not terribly high, but they're taking away all the nulls that we'd perhaps rather have mitigating Murius's attacks. So, if we were to say, use Divine Glory on some of you guys, I'm hoping that's going to be enough to take them out, absolutely. Okay, so one down. Then we have the new Earthquake ability as well, the Legion just learned, but Raging Inferno will hit everyone with air damage, or with fire damage rather, and that is effective against Murius, but actually the way to go for his friends is water. So Tsunami might be most effective against them. Let's try this. See if we can take out all the bandits, and almost, but not quite. Murius responds, of course, and Mardek would heal with an ability here, but I think instead we'll just use an item, and we theoretically are looking for about 1,000 HP restored, and Chocolate Milk restores 1,000, and also removes status effects. Legion is currently paralyzed, so I think that's not a bad idea. It's a little bit overkill, yes, but again, this is an important fight. Let's make sure we are making a point of doing that. Okay, good thing that Mardek has as much HP as he does. So now we could throw back on the Null Airs, and theoretically, we could save some MP, only put it on Burn. That would mean that Mardek still doesn't have one, but again, Mardek has enough HP that maybe he's gonna be okay. We're getting a little bit clever here. Might have been outthinking ourselves. Okay. Well, bandits are healing themselves. Means they won't attack, which is kinda nice. Sleeping Gas, mostly null. But there you see that Mardek does go back to sleep, because, well, like I said, we were thinking that, well, maybe we don't need that on you. So, let's, however, Divine Glory should be enough to take out one of these bandits for sure. So you're down. Only one remaining means that we shouldn't have to use too many nulls up on their relatively benign attacks. So then, similarly, a Tsunami, I think, might do enough damage here. Because he didn't fully heal up when he used that HP restoring item. So yes, just Murius now. So at least we have that working in our favor. He is also not on full HP at the moment, so even with all those regenerations, still have a little bit of damage that is still on him. Now, Charla, do we restore some of your MP right now? Because you are quite low. Charla, you are the only person who has Null Air on at the moment. Except, do you have the MP to do this? You do. I think we do this. And then, on someone else's turn, we'll throw on an MP restoration item. Because that's physical, but Murius definitely does still have some air elemental things as well. Divine Glory might be our most powerful skill right now. What is your air resistance? It's nothing. Or rather, light resistance is nothing, so Divine Glory should be effective. Yes, it does use 25 MP though, of course, and that is quite a bit. So, Burn, it might not be a terrible idea for you to use Nether on, say, someone like Charla, but now that we've gotten rid of those other bandits, we might not need to have the Null Air on quite as often. It's just that when it does, take effect. It's going to be when we most need it. So maybe it is still okay to use Divine Glory here. That is a ton of damage, yes. Okay. I think we want Vern to use that for sure. And then we saw that against Murius specifically, it wasn't water, it was fire. So either Raging Inferno or Fire Breath. I do think that Raging Inferno does do more damage. Let's use this here. 700. We will react, presumably, and shoot Legion. He goes again as well. Shoots Mardek this time. Starla, now you are pretty much out of MP. We could remove Paralysis, and Mardek does have Paralysis right now, so this is something. Furious again. Thunderstorm, nulls across the board, so that's what we were trying to mitigate with those null airs. And I think we go for a Divine Glory here. It's gonna be close. It's not quite enough. But with one more skill here, like say a Raging Inferno, that should do the trick, I think. And it does just that. Burn and Legion leveled up there. Another tricky fight right after a Guardian. We didn't necessarily do much to prep for this one, but fortunately, we were able to walk away with a victory no less. And also, some reactions mastered too. Darn it, that was predictable. I knew that would happen as soon as I saw you two. Still, worth a try. Ugh. Fortunately, I prepared myself for this eventuality. Warp Crystal, I should save your life one of these days to make up for the number of times you've saved mine. What? No, hold on. No, Warp Crystal, that's against the rules. Now away I go, and this time I won't even bother lying about changing my ways. I'll get these crystals one day, you'll see. Well, he escaped. He could have taken the crystal, like that mystery man did after we beat him, but he didn't. Hooray! Yeah, that was odd. I mean, he was standing right next to the crystal and presumably could have just nabbed it before using that warp crystal, but sure. So, and with that, before we nab this Earth Crystal, I think there are actually a few things that we are going to want to do in this Earth Temple. So, I think this is a good place for us to stop here after taking down both the Earth Guardian and Murius and co. So, I'll catch you in the next one.